Okay, now we're going to test or check the level of the oil. Now the thing to remember is this: whenever you check the dipstick, the bike should always be on the center stand, and the bike should be run for at least 10 minutes, gunning it occasionally, obviously in neutral, on the center stand, or underway, or if you're coming into a gas stop. Coming to a gas station, you want to check your oil level. You need to, the very first thing you do is put it on the center stand. Never take your reading when the bike is on the side stand. Then I will turn and release, unscrew to the left, counterclockwise, the dipstick. I'll dry it, clean it. The important thing about your readings on the dipstick, you don't want to screw it in when you're taking a reading. Again, you want the oil to be nice and hot in the upper chamber as well as the lower chamber of the oil reservoir. I stick it straight in, pull it out carefully, and then I'll take a reading. It's in my estimate, and then what you do is turn it counterclockwise to your click, and then turn it clockwise to tighten it hand tight. And that's all there is to testing the oil. I generally found after about 2,000 miles you might consume maybe a cup of oil. All synthetic oil is what is used. And there you are. If it's absolutely perfect, it'll say OK on the oil level. If it doesn't say that, it doesn't mean it's low. It's just a little bit off of ideal level. Okay, so if you want to display that, you go down to menu again 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it'll show oil level, throughout the day. So you can change that as you want to, but it's a neat feature. Let's look at some of the dash features here. I'll turn on the ignition. The GPS comes right up. If you want to remove the GPS, to charge it if you have to, because it normally should charge when you're underway. But if you need to remove it, you press this button right here, and it will lift the windshield. And this is like a toaster. You pull it straight up, and then on the right upper side, you're going to be pressing this release button. I do that, pull it forward, take it out, and there I have the GPS. To put it back in again, I'm going to wedge it in first here and then lean it back going forward on the upper part to click it. So I engage the lower lug and then I push the top and it's connected, and there you are. And then you can lower your windshield by using the button on the left handle. Okay. I want to go over a couple more things. This little black rubber device, what you should typically do is when you're going to take gasoline, and it's always premium, you have 3 settings here. You have trip 1, press it again, trip 2, press it again, trip A. I generally like to do this. Every gas fill up, I move it to, just toggle it over to A, and then I'll hold that down, and it'll clear it, it'll zero it out. I use that every time I gas up, so I know how many miles I've ridden since I last refueled. The next one, number 1, is what I reset when I'm on a long ride. The very first time I get underway each morning, I will set that, I'll press it in until it resets to 0, and that shows me my daily mileage at the end. The last one, when I start the trip, is I toggle to trip 2. This is the one where I will reset at the beginning of a multi-day trip. I'll know how many miles I've ridden accumulatively every day until the end of the ride. And that's all you have to do. Very straightforward. Okay, a couple of things I want to talk about here, and that's this. You have a button here that's very important called Mode. And what you have with Mode, right now we can see dynamic there in the little screen. If I press this, it will give me choices: rain, press it on road. Dynamic is for normal response engine settings, everything else. But if you get into rain, it starts to rain, one of the key features here is you have dynamic traction. So you want to press this into rain mode when it starts to rain. You don't have to pull over it whatsoever. All you do is you toggle here until you see rain, and then while you're riding, you squeeze the clutch, let it out again, and squeeze it in and let it out, and then it will stay on the rain mode. When you're all done, all you've got to do is toggle it to dynamic, in one more time, and out, and you're all set. So what's the difference between rain and dynamic? When you encounter rain, what it does is it reduces the horsepower by about 20%, reduces your ability to lean in or heel angle, reduces it by maybe 20%, or 20, maybe no more than 20 degrees, as I remember. And also prevents your rear tire to spin faster than your front tire. Very safe feature. So when you're all done, you go back to this one that says mode. You'll press that, toggle it till you can see it, squeeze in. You want to get over to rain if you need to. Squeeze it, the clutch twice, and let it out, and then it'll set to that. You want to always go back to dynamic when it's nice dry weather. Road is sort of a blend between both of them, but I like dynamic. And there you are. This is how we're going to demonstrate how to pull up. And what we're going to do here is look under apps, press that, and this is where you've already downloaded into the Garmin GPS a route, and which we have already. So I will press the planner, and I've got two different ones here. One is New Braunfels to Troy's sister, and then the other one is the one from Austin all the way out to basically the Phoenix area. So let's look at the very first one here. Up to the upper left you have some horizontal bars, and you can either delete, import, or share, and we'll just cancel because I've already imported those. So let's just take a look at tomorrow when I head to deliver the bike, and it says New Braunfels to Troy's sister. So I'll press go down the lower right, and it shows where my first waypoint is. Since I'm already in New Braunfels, I want to do the next and only one. It's set up to find the shortest distance, whether it's a freeway or not. You can specify when you're designing routes to avoid interstates or other various roads, and it'll remember that. And also to avoid, let's say, U-turns, avoid dirt roads. So it's your choice. So in this case, we have it already highlighted under Troy's sister, so start. And it shows an overall view there of the route, and then I press go. And it's all set. Now when we configure the Pack Talk Bold, which is Cardo, the helmet will automatically receive verbal instructions, and you will hear that in your helmet as you go. Turn right, turn left, etc., which is good. So that's what we'll be following tomorrow. I'll go back here. That's the back button, and I can go back again to the one that says apps, trip planner. That's used frequently. And let's say, for example, Troy, the new owner, wants to start out in Austin at his sister's house. So this particular route has all 3 days, or all 2 days actually, in here. So I will say press the go button, and it's going to obviously ask, where do you want to begin? Well, you're already going to be at his sister's house in Austin, so the next one would be Valero gas stop, and it will route you there, and then when you after you refill it with gas, it'll automatically jump to the next one, which will be in Fort Stockton, and that'll be an overnight. And I can scroll through. I'll go down here a second, pressing the down arrow, and it shows at Loves. So that route was basically, I set it up. It means that when you go to the Fort Stockton, you will be able to stop there. Okay. There's also a Loves station, so you have the choice of any one of those. And then the overnight stop is at the BASIC, Basic, a Christian overnight stay. And then I'll just scroll down. And in Las Cruces, there's a Sherburne stop. Lordsburg as well. So that's, and then basically it takes you all the way back to Troy's home. And there you are. So I'll do cancel this. I'll do go. And obviously the very first place we'll stop will be in Junction, which will be at a Valero gas station. So that is where the default is, and then you just press start. It will calculate. And this is allowing, there's the overview of all the waypoints, or actually stops, the little orange flags, and then you press go. It says ready to navigate. And in that case, the configuration allows for toll roads in this case. So let me go back. Again, apps is where you want to go. So we're going to set this up for going to the New Braunfels ride to Troy's sister. And then you just simply say start. Okay, and go. All right, it's ready to go. Now, all I have to do, if I shut this thing off on the ignition, it says ignition off, stay on. If you're gas station, you want it to stay on. But basically, when you're finished here, off you go. And there it is. Remember that this is a touch screen, so you can just touch it with your finger, which is very handy. Here's how to connect the Uni-go trailer to the hitch itself on the bike. First thing is you take the key to release this locking pin. I do that. Then remove the pin itself. This is a set screw. I have to back it off a little bit. I'll set it up tight later. Always best to connect the trailer when it's empty. Disconnecting, you can have it loaded or empty. It's just easier to line things up. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take the trailer. See these two lugs here? They're going to fit into the slots on either side. So I put it in here, like such. And it's connected. It'll hold temporarily. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to insert the pin. Looking forward on the bike from right to left, I'll insert the pin. I first lift the handle up, wiggle it, push the pin all the way in, which I've done. Next, I will take the locking mechanism and I'll put it, turn the key slightly, and it should immediately latch. Make sure it's tight. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is take that lower spring tensioner. While I take the handle, I'll lift up and sort of rock it up and down, get it nice and tight. Okay, that's done. Next thing is you take your safety chain, let it drop down, and right below this pin is a stainless steel eye. So I will connect that right there. The last thing to do is to connect the lighting, the bike lighting and the trailer lighting. Here's what it is. I always leave it in this position when it's disconnected. You don't want this thing dragging on the ground. If you look at the male device here, you'll see two pins. This will be on the top, mating here with the female. This is a sprung door, which is semi-waterproof. So you lift this up And then with the two tabs on top here, you line it up, shake it, slowly wiggle it in, and then when you close the lid, it comes down on top of the two lugs. Make sure it's in tight. Okay? Now you're all set. The trailer's connected. Pin securing bar here, and lock, and then you got the electrical, and then of course you got the chain. And now you're all set. And that's basically all there is to it. Now we'll test the lights in just a minute. Now this is testing the Uni-go trailer lights. You put your key in the ignition, turn it to on, and then the first thing you do is on the left handlebar you've got the safety hazard switch. Press that, you'll see the front turning lights will flash. Also on either side you'll see this right and left. I'll come back. The beauty of the trailer is you can also, from another vehicle behind you, can see the trailer lights as well as the bike lights. Okay, so that's working properly. And then you'll see also the turning lights are flashing. I got the running red light on, as is on the bike, which is good. And next we're going to test the brakes. So I'll turn off the hazard light. Okay, here we go. I'm going to hit the brakes. I can do the right handlebar. There we are for braking. I can also hit the brake pedal. So now you know you're in good shape, everything is working properly. This is the maximum angle right now that you can do it on the trailer. So you're really talking about maybe 20 degrees. Avoid bottoming out the trailer, especially when you're going from a garage down a slope of a driveway to the road itself. As you go over that gutter, go very slowly so you don't bottom it out or scrape the forward vertical posts of the trailer. I own 3 Uni-go trailers over an 11-year period, and having ridden over 100,000 miles, here's an important tip. If you're in traffic, back bumper to bumper, use those, turn on your hazard lights or your brake light to let the other person know you're there. Don't hesitate at all. Tips while backing. Look out either your right or your left mirror, and as you start backing, if you can see the trailer from the right rear mirror, turn your handlebars to the right until you can no longer see the trailer, then go straight. Conversely, if you see from your left mirror, the trailer is visible as you're backing using your feet. Same thing. Turn toward where the bike is going. That in the case would be turn your handlebars to the left. That's a simple way to do it. Backing back and backing your trailer, don't let it jackknife, meaning reach the maximum of 20 degrees. Stop and pull forward with your clutch let out slowly to come ahead, straighten out the tire of the Uni-go and start over again. Another tip, when you've disconnected the Uni-go and you want to go up a staircase or over a lip, always pull the trailer into the room, if you will. Don't try to push the tire ahead of you. That is the wrong thing to do. If you're pushing the Uni-go into a elevator, make sure you tilt it like a wheelbarrow at maybe about a 70-degree angle with your front tire or the tire on the Uni-go leading. And it'll bring you in very simply. The other way, when you're leaving, just use the opposite direction. Once the Uni-go is disconnected, it is a 3-point stance. 2 posts on the forward, and then you've got the tire in the rear. And it will stay upright nicely. If you're staying at a motel, play it safe,
disconnect the Uni-go and wheel it into your room where you know where it is safely. This is very easy to be stolen if it's left in a parking lot connected, believe me. That's why I lost one of my Uni-gos. When stopping overnight at a motel, don't be bashful. Ask the clerk if he's got some rags or old torn towels to use to wash and clean the bike and the Uni-go after a day's ride. It was my first Uni-go trailer, and at a gas station, a truck slowly backed into the trailer. No damage whatsoever to the trailer, but it really destroyed the hitch. So be careful no matter where you are.
Here is the pocket tire plugger. This is how to plug a tire using the tire plugger. But the first thing you want to do is unzip the bag. Okay. Tire plugger. Lay out all your tools. This happens to be the rasp. This is part of the tire plugger. That's an Allen wrench. This is the awl, and also it helps you install the tire plugger itself. And this is a little razor to cut the end of this little mushroom. The other thing we'll get out now is one of the mushrooms. It's rubber. Normally they're packed in all kinds of light grease, so they slide in easily. Well, there's our tire right there. Okay, so the very first thing you'll do is you will try to locate where that hole is, and if you have a pen or something, try to circle it. There may be a lot of dust and stuff like that on the tire. You won't see it, but it just helps you. If you can't do that, try to get some soapy water and look for bubbles. That will help you identify it. And there may be a nail or a screw or something else that you can pull out that will help locate it. So the very first thing we're going to do is we'll take off the safety guard off of the stabbing awl, and we'll go counterclockwise on the handle, pull it out temporarily. We'll get back to that again. So now what we're going to do is we will take the tire plugger and we will put that mushroom straight in, and then we're going to screw it in all the way down. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to well, we'll reconnect that right now. Let's just unscrew it, and you'll see what happens. Let's do that again. Okay, so what we'll do now is we're going to load the tire plugger. We'll take that little mushroom rubber, okay, and then what I'll do is there's a little tip at the top. I will take the end of this and I'm going to push it down straight in. I can. Yeah, pushing it all the way down. And what I have to do probably is to back off some more on this. I'm going to go counterclockwise as I'm looking at the bottom, and then I'm going to push it down farther. That's where it needs to go, a little bit farther down. So when I push it down, you can see that it's flush with the lip there. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is, once I have the plugger loaded with the rivet, the little safety plug, I'll then go back to the awl. I'm going to reinstall the awl. Okay. It has a safety guard when you're not using it. So the first thing I'm going to do is, since I've located the hole, I'm going to take the stabbing awl here in this example on cardboard, but I'm going to push through like that. And once I've done that, I want to come back with this stabbing awl, and I'm going to go straight in and push it in. Then I'm going to go counterclockwise with the awl handle, taking it out, and then I'm leaving in the guide for the tire plugger. So what I'm going to do then is take this with the mushroom already preloaded, and I'm going to go clockwise. So it's hand tight, like so. All right. And then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take the Allen wrench, and I'm going to go clockwise with the Allen wrench, and I'm going to force that mushroom in through the tire wall. That's the whole point, because the head, obviously, of the mushroom rivet is larger than the shaft. Okay. I keep turning this. Okay, that should do it. And then I'm going to go and unscrew it. You take the Allen wrench out, it makes it easier. Okay, unscrew it. And I've done that now. And then I'm going to pull this. So that's what I end up with. I have the rivet shaft, and I'll show you the backside if you were inside the tire. See how wide that mushroom is? This is what basically you want to do. You want to grab this and pull it about 2 inches to seat it. You don't want any gap at all. You want this flush against the inside of the tire wall. Okay? And then when you're all done, you haven't done any inflation yet. So you're going to, first of all, take this knife, extend it, and then you're going to make your cuts. So I'm going to cut it, and there it is. Okay? Your tire is plugged.
Once you can reinflate your tire with a portable air compressor, and then you can ride for about 350 to 500 miles safely until you get to a tire shop to inspect your work. Okay, what we're looking at today is the Cardo Pack Bold system. We have a bag here that says Cardo, and what we've got, here's another unit that fits onto the helmet. This is the one I use. It has a T on it, and this is my wife's 840. They're identical, and we'll go through it. But the first thing is, you want to plug this thing in. You can leave it on the helmet. So what you do is you've got a lug here. You come in at a slight angle to catch it. And then if we look at the other side, you see this release here. This is a release once it's fixed. So I come in at a slight angle, grabbing this, I hold the helmet and then press here, click. It's solidly in there. You also have, looking at the top, you've got a little handle where your thumb goes up, and this is an extra antenna. See that? It clicks in, or you take your thumbnail and lift it up. This will allow you to communicate over a longer distance. So you can't hurt it. I'll put it back down again. But now to start this up, there's many different ways to do it, but the minimum feature I'm using right now is just the GPS talking to the helmet Pack Bold unit. I want to be able to hear rather than look down at the GPS and have it command me as I'm going along, making the turns and whatnot as necessary to get to my destination. So if you look at this, you'll feel raised bumps, 3 of them. One down here and up here. So to get this thing started, after you turn on your ignition switch and the GPS is up, the very first thing is you hold this down for about 2.5 seconds. Now it's flashing. And then when it detects a phone, for example, or the GPS, it will give you a command.
Hello, Pack Talk Gold, Bluetooth, Intercom, mode.
Now the mobile phone is connected, and if the GPS were in a closer range, it happens to be on the bike in the garage,
Connected.
you know it. So it's now connected, and it will start working. It'll last probably about 8 hours, and there's other features you can turn on, but that will decrease the battery life. Now to shut this thing off when you take lunch or finish riding at the end of the day and you want to charge it up, you're going to feel with your thumb that lower raised switch, and there's another one here. You hold it together about 2 seconds, and you'll see it flash red, and it will shut down. And there you are. And so you may ask, well, how do I increase while it's on the volume? This wheel is louder and quieter. You move it back and forth while you're underway. Just reach up with your thumb and rotate it. So now we want to charge this up. So what are we going to do? We're going to press that tab and just take it out. And now we're going to get it ready for charging. When you get to the motel at night or at home or anything else, you need about maybe 4 hours or so to recharge this thing. And you're going to have 2 complete sets of charging cables, and also the plug that goes into the wall for the 110. So you've got the USB cable here, and you've got a smaller one. So I'm going to charge this. Now, if you look at what we just took off the bike, off the helmet rather, this is a rubber. I grab my thumbnail. You see how it exposes the plug-in socket? It's sort of, and this is what keeps waterproof. I plug it in, like so, and then I will look in the bag and find the 110 outlet. There's, again, a set for each of these Cardo units. So what you'll do next, at the bottom, you will plug this in, go over to the wall, and we'll do that. I'll show you how it looks. Let's just walk over there real quickly. Okay. Down there. I'll plug it in. And it should start showing red until it's fully charged, and it'll turn off. When it's fully charged, then you can disassemble it and put the cords back into the Ziploc bag. But it'll take about 4 hours or so.
I want to pass along is the finest thing I found for sunblock, especially for motorcyclists, is wearing a helmet to avoid any kind of cream. Once you start sweating, that would drip down and start burning your eyes. And this is made by a company called Equate. It's SPF 70. It is very much like an underarm deodorant, only it's for your exposed skin, your face, and your hand, palms, etc. It's absolutely phenomenal. Before you're going to ride, you simply apply this to your the skin on your head and your neck, and the back of your neck, and it will never leak or burn into your eyes. It's the most phenomenal thing I've ever located. So that's why I wanted you to see this. You can pick it up at Walmart or go online, Amazon, and buy it. But this is the real deal. You're looking at somebody who has ridden for 15 years, and I found out about this about maybe 6 years ago. Pick it up. It's what you need at the beginning of the day to avoid skin cancer. There you are.